proud of you. We're going to finish today off strong. We're going to need a bag or a dumbbell or kettlebell if you happen to have one. And a heavier one, I'm going to say at least 10 or 15 pounds. I think that's like 6 or 8 kilograms or more than that. It's really going to depend on how strong you are. But if you don't have a kettlebell or a dumbbell, you can just fill up a bag and try and make that heavy. So I'm just going to be using my backpack today, but it all does the same thing. We just want a little bit of weight. And also a yoga strap or one of those like Pilates pulley bands or even a stretchy pair of leggings also does the same job. So grabbing some of those. I've got a yoga mat as well just for some comfort for my feet, but we won't actually be coming down onto it. So please put me on pause, go and do that, and then we're going to get started. So we're going to be starting with the band, and of course we're working on core strength, balance and stability. So this one is really going to be, well actually it does tick all three of those boxes, but especially balance and stability whilst trying to hold our scoliosis corrections, whilst trying to stay elongated and expanded through the spine. I actually want us to start just bringing some awareness to that feeling of expansion and breath. So that's why this band or strap, stretchy pair of leggings, whatever you've got, it's going to be really helpful. So you're going to take the strap, you're going to have your hands quite close together, so less than shoulder width. And we're going to come into our standing scoliosis correction. So feet shoulder width apart, soft bend in the knees, getting really long through your spine. You can even take your hand to the crown of your head to help push your head up into your hand, get that extra little bit of length, but don't flare the ribs as you come up. Then taking the band out in front of you, I want you to have your elbows in line with your shoulders, and we're going to gently pull the band, and that's going to help us to get some expansion through the torso, so the upper part of your body, your scapula, shoulder blades, getting some space into your ribs. And I'm protracting through my shoulder blades here. I'm not pulling my shoulder blades back like that. I'm allowing there to be some space. If you have quite a rounded shoulder on one side, maybe don't protract really hard on that side, but you can still get that elbow out wide. So pulling the band apart, reaching the elbows wide and lengthening. Let's take a big inhale. I want you to think about sending your breath backwards into the back of your ribs. Can you feel your ribs expand as you inhale? And then exhaling, can you try and keep some of that expansion? You won't be able to keep it all, but maybe some of it. Inhaling, opening, expanding, exhaling, trying to keep some of that expansion. And you're still, I know it's a shoulder workout as well, but still pulling the band. Inhaling, opening, expanding, keeping lots of length. Try not to shrug your shoulders. Exhaling, keeping that expansion. Let's get 2 more. Inhaling, exhaling, inhaling, 1 more, exhaling. Whew. Nice, you can give your shoulders a little wiggle out and then pop the band or strap just down to the side. So that was just a feeling of, like I said, getting that expansion into the ribs, because that's what I really want us to try and feel as we're doing every exercise, but especially the standing exercises that we're going to be doing now. So we're going to be doing a little bit of a march. We're going to be taking it really slow, and we're going to be holding our corrections as we do it, and I want you to think about that expansion. So you can take your hands to your hips, feet shoulder width apart, push your hands gently into your hips, squeeze your tummy muscles, get really long, and just like we were doing with the band, think about inhaling and expanding sideways and backwards. Maybe even feel your ribs if that helps. Your ribs do move when you inhale, and that's important to know. But we instead of the breath coming here, we really want to try and send it backwards, especially if you have a thoracic curve, left or right. We want to send it into the concave area of that thoracic curve. The lumbar one is going to be harder to feel, but you're still going to get that expansion and breathing into the concave area, even, or especially as you elongated your spine. So enough rambling, Rambly McGee, I call myself sometimes. Let's come into that march. So elongated spine, squeeze the tummy muscles. We're going to inhale, lift the leg, and then exhale, slowly lower. Inhale, lift the other leg. Exhale, slowly lower. And as you're lifting your leg, you're trying to bring your knee in line with your hip, you're flexing your toe, you slowly lower and come to the other side. And what we're trying to do here, similar to what we did in day 1 or day 2, we want to make sure we're not hiking the hip up. So we're trying to really keep stability in our hips, as well as working on our balance as we obviously stand on one leg and alternate sides. Keeping it really nice and slow. And if you want to make it more difficult, you can take your hands into the short hand position. So that just means when we take our hands to the shoulders like this. And this is where you have to keep an elongated spine, just using the muscles down your back, because you can't push your hands into your hips anymore, so it's more difficult. But wherever you are, think of that expansion that we just did with the band. Can you, if your hands are on your shoulders, think about reaching your elbows away from each other. If your hands are on your hips, you're still thinking about reaching your shoulders nice and broad. Big deep breath into the back of your rib cage. Trying to keep that expansion as we gently march from side to side. And I do recommend maybe doing this in front of a mirror as well. That can be helpful. Good, you're doing so well. I'm going to get 4 more. Keeping lots of balance and stability. Core muscles are engaged. That's it, being aware of what your body is doing. Almost there. And then, stopping there. You can shake it out a little bit. And then this is where we're going to grab our weight, either your dumbbell, kettlebell, or your bag that is filled with things to make it heavy. So we're going to be, I'll just explain to you first, we're going to be holding the weight in one side whilst holding our scoliosis correction. So the weight is going to want to pull you to the side, but you're going to have to use your core to stop yourself from doing that. Your core, your back muscles, your glutes, there's a lot that happens when we do this suitcase hold. So let's take the weight. Standing scoliosis corrections. You're going to reach the weight away from the body, so it's not just relaxing on your leg. I'm on my right hand, but it really doesn't matter what side. We're going to do both. And holding here. You can have your hand on your hip, or you can have your hand into the short hand position. Either way, we want to be keeping that elongation, keeping yourself out of your curve as much as possible. Squeeze your tummy muscles and don't let that weight pull you to the side. We're going to be working our core, especially our obliques. Remember to breathe. You can even do those exhales like we did yesterday, where we help to engage these tummy muscles. Still trying to keep that expansion through the chest, through the backs of the ribs. Good, you're doing so well. We'll go 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Good, well done. We're going to switch side. So holding the weight out to your side, squeeze your tummy muscles. Don't let it pull you to the side. Don't relax it to the side of your leg. And you can have your hand on your hip or hand in your short hand position. Holding here. Squeeze those tummy muscles. Keep your spine elongated. You got this. Working your core, working your obliques, strengthening your body as elongated and out of your scoliosis pattern as much as possible, harder than it sounds. Remember to breathe. We'll go 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Whew, well done. Good, you can pop that to the side. And we're going to finish off with a good old plank. And that's going to be our last exercise of today. So you can come down onto your mat if you have one, but if not, the ground works just as good. And we can come onto our hands, but if you're if you have wrist problems, you can come onto your elbows, of course. So, in our plank position, you can either be on your knees or off your knees. You want your hands directly underneath your shoulders, soft bend in the elbow. Please don't lock out your elbows, especially if you have hypermobility. Squeeze your tummy muscles and push the ground away from you through your hands, so you're not sinking your chest or arching into your lower back. So let's go, either holding this position or coming off the ground for our core strengthening exercise. Remembering to breathe. You can think about even pulling your hands back towards your knees. It's just a feeling that helps engage the core a little bit more. Or if you're on your elbows, pulling your elbows back towards your knees. Remembering to breathe, and remember it is okay to be on the knees. We'll come onto the knees if you need. Holding here, really strengthening our core. Not letting the body rotate. Keeping the neck nice and long. Remembering to breathe. We're going to get 10 more seconds. We'll go 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Oof. Good job, well done. Let's push ourselves back into a puppy pose. So tucking the back toes under, sending the hips halfway back between your knees and ankles to reach the arms out in front. Lengthen your spine. And breathe into the back of your rib cage. Whew. Getting some nice elongation. And then slowly bringing yourself back up. Good. Congratulations. Well done. Well done. I'm so proud of you. Well done for finishing this. Of course, you can re-watch this video again if you want to repeat it twice or even 3 times. It's always better to get that repetition. Thank you so much for joining in this challenge. I really hope that you learned a little something about exercise that you can do for your scoliosis to help you with your balance, stability, and core strength. I have loads more exercises like this within my membership. If you're interested, you can check out the link below, my website, thescoliocoach.com, where my membership has lots of exercise, yoga, and live weekly classes as well. So I help you feel good and feel strong in your scoliosis, stopping pain and progression, of course, as well. I'm also hosting a retreat at the start of October on Vancouver Island in Canada, where we will be doing lots of stuff like this as well, so feel free to check that out on my website. It'd be great to meet you in person and see your wonderful spine. Thank you again for joining. Do let me know if you have any questions, and I will see you next time.